Hey everybody!
This is Matt and Cat Things.
If you haven't been following us, we moved to Maine a few years ago and bought a duplex as part of our retirement plan.
Yeah, we've been trying to capture most of the construction on video to share with friends and families primarily. But, you know, we got a lot of our help on YouTube trying to figure out how to do some of these projects. So, I don't know, maybe someone can get a little benefit out of watching us mess this up.
If you haven't been following us, go back and watch all our videos and see how much work it's been for us to renovate a 120 plus year old house.
Yeah, it's been a lot. During our trips to Europe, we became familiar with the IKEA kitchen system. They're pretty much everywhere in Spain and most of Europe. The IKEA kitchen cabinets, they appear to be really functional. They held up really well, what we've seen. They're well priced. And I think in the end we decided they were going to be a good fit for us here.
Matt always wanted to do concrete countertops, so we thought we'd give it a try.
Yeah, it's been a dream of mine for a long time to pour some concrete countertops, and this seemed like the right fit, seemed like the right time. We're pretty excited. However, after we installed the IKEA kitchen cabinets, it became clear that these cabinets are really optimized for putting a solid surface on, like granite or quartz. They're not really optimized the way they're built to pour a countertop in a liquid state on it. And we'll get into a little bit of why that is. The company that we bought all the products from to pour this concrete countertop is called Concrete Countertop Solutions. If I think about it, I'll put a link in the description. We don't have any affiliation with them, but they did help us walk through a couple of the little tips we needed in order to pour their system on top of the IKEA system. But we had to invent a few other solutions as well. I don't think that many people have done this, to be honest. Let us know in the description if you've ever done this, if you've poured concrete countertops on IKEA cabinets. It'd be interesting to hear if anyone else did this. That's really what this video is all about, is to share with you our experience on adapting the concrete countertop system with the IKEA cabinet system. It's not an instructional video on how to assemble IKEA cabinets, though you'll see us do some of that. It's not really an instructional video on how to pour and finish concrete either, because
This is our first time.
there's no reason in the world to believe that we know what we're doing here, though it did come out pretty good. So I think we'll put 2 or 3 videos out that shows this whole process, from the cabinets to prepping the cabinets to getting ready to pour, and then the actual pour itself.
In the end, we're super happy with the way the countertop came out. Again, this is a duplex, so we did it on the side that we're renting out, and we're getting ready pretty soon, hopefully, to do our kitchen. So I think we're gonna give it another try.
Yeah, we're pretty sure we're gonna do this again. No, it's a good point. I mean, the lion's share of the videos that you've seen so far have been what we call side A, which is the rental unit. Side B is our residence, which we're living in as we do this renovation. But in the future, yeah, I think we'll do this on our side as well. That's how happy we are with it. So please, as you watch these videos and you're thinking about your own project, you know, jump in the comments, ask us any questions you want. We'll do the best we can to answer them for you. So I think we'll start the first video with some assembly of the IKEA cabinets. Enjoy! The IKEA system is flat pack, so everything shows up in boxes. Here I'm laying everything out. This kitchen's about 100 pieces, all told. Start off with some good straight lines. Once you get used to IKEA instructions, it's really not that hard. They use icons to advance you through the manual depending on if you're building a cabinet with drawers or with doors. Once you figure that out, there's really no reason to be intimidated. This system's pretty easy to use. Here we've got all the cabinets assembled and up on their feet. So they hang on the back wall on a railing and then feet support them in the front. Okay, here's where I show you some of my mistakes so that you don't make them. This old house, when we put drywall back up, I spent a lot of time making sure the drywall was flush against the studs and plumb, but I didn't spend enough time on this corner. This left-hand corner is not square, and you can see how the cabinets fall away from the wall as you come toward the point of view here. I had to shim them out about 5/8 of an inch all told out of the wall, maybe a little more. It definitely made the whole job a bit harder. Good thing about pouring a concrete countertop is I can make the distance up because I set the forms where I need them. But it definitely added some time. The IKEA system uses rails on the upper cabinets as well, so you can see you basically set your rail perfectly straight and level. The fasteners on the back of the cabinets allow you to just hang it, slide it left and right. Super easy. Another great thing about IKEA cabinets is the hardware. I mean, it's world-renowned hardware. It has so much opportunity for adjusting left, right, in and out, and they go in super simple. Here, the ones that go to the door, you push them in, fold the locking lever over, they're set. Even installing the doors, once you get the hardware on, you just click them in there, push them on. Super simple. And if you ever want to take them off, it's just as easy to take them off and put them back on. The IKEA cabinets were a great fit for us for lots of reasons that we talked about before. But one thing we didn't realize until after we started talking with the concrete countertop company is that these cabinets differ some in their construction, that they require a little extra support to pour concrete on top of. These IKEA cabinets have this metal band here in the front and on the back, and they're really designed to keep the cabinet left to right, square, plumb, all that. But when you get into a cabinet width that's as wide as this and wider, like this is a 24, I have a 30-inch sink cabinet and another 36-inch cabinet. There's a little flex in this, and when you pour concrete on top of this, the weight would begin to flex this a bit. If you put a solid surface on, it wouldn't matter at all the weight is supported here. So what we're going to have to do is place a little bit of support up underneath these, carry that support all the way down to the floor, and it should provide all that we need to pour the concrete. So I came up with a solution for the supporting. Pretty simple. It requires some scrap 2x4, some scrap 1x material that I had laying around, and some shims. So the basic idea is that we want to support from here all the way down to the bottom of the cabinet, and preferably all the way down to the floor, because these cabinets are really strong, they're really stiff, but I've never done this before, so I'm going to think of a way to transfer this weight all the way to the floor, so there's no sagging here or here on the bottom. Basically with my 1x material, this is the old flooring that we bought over here, and it's 7/8 thick, it's perfect. What it allows is to fit inside this channel. There's a little groove so it can't slip this way, right? And then it's short enough that it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. What that allows me to do is put a couple shims in here, right? And just take up enough of the slack so that there's a little bit of tension. You don't want to push this up to make a hump in it. What I did when I set it was I just put a straight edge on there, kind of center it, and I looked for any deflection in this, and that's basically when I stopped adjusting my shims. Underneath, I just took a 2x4 block, same thing, centered, take the shims, and get that the same way. What that allows is a nice column of strength all the way down to the floor. There's one other idea, I really haven't decided which is best yet, is to take a piece of wood like this, and instead of using the shims, run this all the way through, shim it in the back and the front. Of course, I'd push it back so that this was flush. Shim it up a little bit, and it takes care of that whole thing in one shot. The shims are super important because once you pour, there's going to be so much weight on here that you might not be able to kick these out without damaging these surfaces. So the shims give about that, 1/8 of an inch to 3/16, maybe a quarter, where you can pull the shims out. There'll be enough, it'll be loose enough that you can pull it right out without doing any damage. I also did the exact same thing in the back. I don't think the back needs it quite as much, but again, I've never done this, so why not put all the bracing that I can? And in the back, behind, underneath, is another 2x4 block, or if I choose to use that long piece. But again, that back support is supported all the way to the floor as well. Here's a look at the other idea. So that's with the 2x4 underneath. This is the 1x. It actually was a bit easier, I think. You do have to reach all the way under there to get that second shim. I don't know if you can see that, but you basically take care of the whole length in one shot, one cut for wood. I think it's easier. I think I'm going to go with this. Well, I just finished up doing all the supports. It really wasn't that bad. This corner took a little more. That cabinet, that's a 12, it doesn't need it. That's a 15, doesn't need it. That's a 30. That's a 36, I went ahead and put 2. And as you can see, I did mostly the board standing on edge, front to back. That worked out really well. So now we can get ready to put the concrete board on top. Well, there you go. So far we have the cabinets installed and all those supports to help carry the weight of the concrete countertop as it's poured. We estimate that we're going to have about 800 pounds of concrete on top here, so you can imagine there's a bit of concern. You don't want to damage everything you just did, all your brand new cabinets, if it fails. So I think we got it from here. In the next video, we'll begin to prepare the horizontal surfaces for the pour. So we'll have to do some shimming and doing a couple layers of plywood and concrete board getting ready. Again, I'm a novice at best. So take all of this with a grain of salt. I may have gone way overboard for what I needed to do. Maybe I didn't do enough, but this is what got us through this project. So take it or leave it as you will. Enjoy.